Welcome back, viewers. And it's time for our 500th half-assed report. We're going to go in and talk to Russell Tyler about his show Analogue Future here at DCKT Gallery on Orchard Street. Okay, well, so we've snagged the artist here. Russell Tyler, congratulations on the show.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about the title, Analogue Future.
Well, I was just really interested in science fiction films from the 60s and 70s. Of course, Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey. And the technologies in a lot of those movies were based on some of the technologies that they were using back then. So they didn't have the idea of digital. And you had these big clunky, computer systems. And
right, huge mechanical apparatuses to do what we can now do on a little cell phone.
Gigantic. Yeah,
well, let's go up here and talk a little bit about some of the paintings. First of all, one of the things that I appreciate about the work is your use of tone and a lot of the grays. You want to talk maybe a little bit about some of your ideas on color and tonality?
Well, I just really, with some of my past work, I was really into using as much color as possible, many different color variations on paintings.
And you still have some rich colors in these too.
Rich colors, but I want to focus on basically one color.
Like an analogous color harmony, yeah.
So for a little while, I started making all black and white paintings before I started making these color paintings.
I remember seeing those.
Just to try and break my habit. I was raised in Hawaii, so there's rich colors everywhere. So I felt like that was really a part of my, color history in a way. And this was a way of just kind of focusing my color rather than,
going totally hog wild with just pure color. Also, the great thing is that you can't really appreciate how vibrant the colors are if you don't have something to contrast them to. So in a lot of ways, it's kind of dealing with the contrast, I think, is good. Now, this is all oil paint, right?
All oil.
And, you and your wife, Trudy, and a couple of other young painters are doing a lot of what I would say is kind of like material painting or chunky painting. You want to talk maybe a little bit about what you think is happening as far as, say, some of the younger people getting involved in a more, richer facture or using a lot more paint as opposed to some of the people that are coming out of maybe more photographic and pop art types of painting?
I would assume it's just some people are drawn to the more gestural nature of painting. And then thick painting, I really have to credit, Schulnick and Dorland with kind of bringing that thick painting back into,
the spotlight,
painting.
Right.
Obviously Frank Arbuck and Leon Kosef are the main men. How
about some of the other New York school people, Milton Resnick and, even someone like David Reed, who doesn't really use it thickly, but he uses a lot of different technical things and different kinds of mediums and scraping and approaches to application and things.
Absolutely, and of course there's Jonathan Lasker.
Sure, Jonathan Lasker. I was going to ask you about that whole idea of maybe pop abstraction.
I think my work recently has come to pop. It could be considered pop abstraction to some degree. It wasn't a huge intention, but I think it's starting to move towards that, and also almost design abstraction, not as in the actual pieces, but the way things are displayed, like almost interior. Well,
this is an example of this right here. I was going to ask you about maybe the challenges. You got a couple of tondos. We'll take a little look at one here in the back room. Do you find that poses a different challenge working on a a round surface as opposed to a rectangle?
Well, I actually don't find it, humbly, I don't find it a challenge at all to work on the circles.
Okay.
But I think this piece right here is the most important piece in the show to, it starts to create a dialogue between the rest of the paintings, and also breaks out of the rectangular, you know.
Right, so you're actually using the wall as part of the compositional element of the piece.
Exactly, and I think it creates, you know, it starts to make the rest of the exhibition be more activated, rather than, you know, a traditional hanging of painting. I wanted you to feel like you were in, you know, almost a 1970s set in a science fiction film.
Well, that's interesting. I was going to talk to you a little bit about some of your paint application. Now, we've sort of talked about the chunky paint, and some of this you just squirting stuff right out of the tube. And I was wondering, you got these little blobs here and there. Are those intentional? Do they just happen? Are they kind of a gestural punctuation kind of?
They're gestural punctuation. Mark? They're used to break the picture plane up a little bit, and you know, just to activate the space more.
And I think it also kind of reinforces the idea that paint is this kind of messy, slathery, gooby, drippy material.
Absolutely.
I think these two really, you got the nice big chunks of hot color in there. And I guess maybe kind of getting back to the pop abstraction idea, there's also a kind of a humor, kind of a whimsy, maybe I don't know what you call a kind of a chunky, clunky approach to formalism. Maybe looking at formalism and taking a kind of, I don't know what, a naive or a kind of, I don't know, hot rod approach to it.
Yeah, you could definitely look at like...
Is this, are these two pieces, or are they considered a...
No, these are one, and really this was, like, I had a complete exhibition plan. I had it all drawn out on the computer, exactly how I wanted things hanging. It changed quite a bit.
Well, that's good.
You know, once we got in here, I wanted to look a particular way, but so these are not a diptych, but you know, it created a, I guess, helped make a dynamic, you know.
I think here's also, this painting is a good example of some of your tonal painting rather than just the strict chromatic. Do you look at some of the tonal painters like Morandi and even Philip Guston and sort of think about their work?
Guston's absolutely my favorite artist, 100%. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So this is, so, you know, I have knowledge of, a pretty vast knowledge of you know, historical abstraction, but I'm looking at more figurative painters when I'm thinking about this work. And another thing is, I'm trying to make nostalgic-based abstraction. And I'm not trying to look at these abstract painters of the past when I'm making these. I'm actually trying not to think of any painters at all, really. I'm trying to summon things from my memories rather than try and...
modern art tropes.
Yeah, modern art tropes, adding to that dialogue. I mean, hopefully it will in some way or another. I mean, not hopefully, I mean, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's nothing I can do about that.
You just make the paintings and put them out there.
I'm making it, exactly. So, but I wasn't trying to add to this history in a way. I was trying to come at it from, you know, I was looking at video games and these things I was interested in as a child, and I wanted to abstract from there.
Okay, well, you know, this is going to be the 500th episode of the James Kalm Reports.
Wow.
So,
that's
yeah. Time to quit now. Anyway.
You're a busy man.
Russell Tyler, Analogue Future. And what's the name of the gallery?
DCKT Contemporary.
DCKT Contemporary on Orchard Street. All right. Thanks, Russell.
Thank you, Warren.
And as always, thank you, Kate.
Like the sunshine.
Wow. Thanks, Peter Joseph Paul. Is that the name? It's good.